Why do some people seem to earn respect almost everywhere they go, while others struggle to be taken seriously no matter how hard they try? This question bothers many people because respect is not just about ego or pride. Deep down, every person wants to feel that they have a place among others, that they matter in the group they belong to. Humans have always depended on social acceptance. For most of human history, survival depended on staying within the tribe. Someone who was rejected by the group was left alone, and in the ancient world that often meant not surviving at all. Because of that long history, the need for approval and respect from others is deeply rooted in our instincts. Even today, people constantly pay attention to how others treat them, whether they are valued or ignored, respected or dismissed. Many people hope that there are quick tricks that can instantly make others respect them. They search for simple tactics or life hacks that promise fast results. And while there are a few behaviors that can help you gain respect more quickly, the deeper truth behind respect is more fundamental. But before getting into the deeper principles, it helps to understand what to do when you suddenly find yourself in a new environment, surrounded by people who don't know you yet. Imagine you have just joined a new workplace, a new team, or any unfamiliar social circle. Perhaps you arrived at a conference, a training program, or some gathering where everyone already seems to know each other. In that moment, you are surrounded by people whose relationships, habits, and internal dynamics you don't yet understand. In situations like this, the first mistake many people make is talking too much. When people feel uncertain, they often try to prove themselves by speaking a lot. They explain their opinions, tell stories, share experiences, and try to appear interesting or impressive. But the more someone talks without understanding the group they are in, the more they risk losing respect. Words that are excessive or unfocused make a person look careless or eager for attention. A much better strategy is to speak less and say only what really matters. When someone speaks rarely but clearly and directly, their words begin to carry more weight. Silence can signal composure and awareness. There is also another reason why this approach works. When you enter a new group, you do not yet understand the internal context of that group. You don't know what relationships already exist, what conflicts may have happened in the past, or how people inside the group really feel about one another. Until you understand the culture of the group, the smartest approach is observation. Listen more than you speak. Pay attention to how people interact. Once you understand the environment, your words will naturally become more effective and meaningful. Another important principle is activity. Passive people rarely earn respect. Those who wait quietly on the sidelines and never contribute usually remain invisible in the eyes of others. People tend to respect those who take initiative and show involvement. But there is an important detail here. The activity that creates respect is not activity for personal gain. Respect grows when your actions bring value to other people. When someone actively helps others, solves problems, supports the group, or makes situations easier for everyone, their presence quickly becomes meaningful. In every group, whether people say it openly or not, they constantly evaluate one silent question. Does this person make things easier for us or harder? If your actions consistently help others, people begin to see you as valuable, and once people see your value, respect naturally follows. Another behavior that quickly affects how others see you is how often you ask for things. In a new environment, constantly requesting favors, resources, or assistance can weaken how people perceive you. This does not mean you should never ask questions. Asking questions shows curiosity and a willingness to learn. When you ask for information or knowledge, people usually appreciate it because it shows you want to grow and understand. But there is a difference between asking questions and asking others to provide something for you. When someone repeatedly asks others for help, support, or personal benefits, especially from people they barely know, it can create an impression of dependency, and dependency rarely produces respect. Whenever possible, rely first on your own effort and initiative. Another behavior that damages respect surprisingly quickly is complaining. Complaining about circumstances, Criticizing people around you, or constantly expressing dissatisfaction sends a very specific signal. It tells others that you struggle to handle pressure and difficulty. Every group faces challenges. Plans fail, problems appear, personalities clash, and unexpected situations arise. The people who gain respect are those who maintain calm during those moments. Instead of complaining, they show patience and self-control. Patience is one of the most underrated traits that generates respect. When others see someone who can endure difficulties without emotional chaos, they begin to trust that person's strength and stability, and that trust becomes a foundation for respect. There is also another simple but powerful behavior that many people underestimate, and that is gratitude. When someone offers even a small act of help or kindness, acknowledging it sincerely matters. A simple expression of appreciation can strengthen relationships more than people realize. Even better, if someone helps you, try to respond with appreciation or support in return. This creates a natural balance between people. Those moments of mutual support build connections, and from those connections, respect begins to grow. But these behaviors are only the surface of the topic. To really understand respect, it is important to look at what creates it at a deeper level. Respect appears when people recognize that your presence brings value into their lives. Whenever someone provides something useful, whether knowledge, assistance, emotional support, or solutions to problems, people instinctively develop positive feelings toward that person. This becomes even stronger when the value you provide is greater than what you receive in return. Imagine someone who consistently helps others solve problems, shares useful insights, supports colleagues, and contributes to the group without constantly demanding recognition or rewards. Over time, people notice this pattern. They see that this person contributes more than they take. That imbalance naturally creates respect. However, there is a situation that often confuses many people. Sometimes an employee works extremely hard and performs their responsibilities very well, yet they still feel that their colleagues do not respect them. This happens because respect usually comes from the people who directly benefit from your actions. When someone works very hard at their job, the primary benefit of that effort may go to company owners, investors, or senior leadership. In those cases, the people at the top may respect and appreciate that employee greatly. But colleagues may not feel the same way if the employee's work does not improve their daily experience. Respect tends to come from the people who receive the benefit. So if your work mainly helps executives or shareholders, they may respect you more than your peers do. But if you want the respect of your co-workers, your actions must also create value for them. There is another interesting form of respect that appears even when someone's actions do not seem to produce obvious benefits. Sometimes people admire someone simply because they follow a strong personal code. For example, when a person keeps their promises, stands by their word, or refuses to betray the people around them, others often respect them for those qualities. At first, it may seem that these actions do not provide direct benefits, but in reality, they create something extremely valuable: trust. When someone proves that they are loyal, reliable, and consistent, they strengthen the stability of the group. People feel safer around someone who follows clear principles. That sense of safety itself becomes a form of benefit. And again, respect grows naturally from that. In everyday life, there are many ways to create value for the people around you. It does not mean doing small superficial favors. Real value often appears in more meaningful ways. You might share knowledge that helps someone solve a problem faster. You might assist a colleague who is struggling with a difficult task. You might temporarily take over responsibilities when someone cannot be present. Even performing your own work carefully and responsibly can help others. When your part of the process is done clearly and well, the next person who depends on your work can complete their task more easily. Support can also be emotional. Sometimes a colleague arrives at work overwhelmed by stress or personal problems. In moments like that, simply listening and showing understanding can have a powerful impact. When someone feels heard and supported, their emotional burden becomes lighter. That too is a form of value. People remember those moments far longer than most people expect. In the end, respect usually grows from two main sources. The first is the benefit you bring into other people's lives. The second is the opportunities you open for others. But there is an important difference that many people misunderstand. Sometimes people believe they are respected because others treat them with politeness or attention. In reality, what others respect may not be the person themselves, but the position they hold. Authority, financial power, or access to opportunities can change how people behave around someone. But this kind of respect is often tied to the role, not the individual. If the position disappears, that form of respect often disappears as well. The most meaningful respect is different. It appears when people genuinely value your presence because of the positive impact you bring into their lives. When respect grows from the benefits you create for others, it tends to remain stable, even when circumstances change. And that is the kind of respect that truly matters.